Backstage.
All right, it's Damien again, Backstage Vancouver. We're here with Kelly Saint Laurent. Saint Laurent. And it's raining and it's snowing and it's cold, and so we're in the coffee place. And look, the crew's here too. Look, say hello, everyone.
Hey.
All right. So first time with my little mobile rig here. So bear with me. I'm gonna be hand holding this. So you guys have been chatting a little bit.
Yeah.
I would like to know something. You are now the new director.
I am the new director of the Vancouver Short Film Festival.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Whenever I hear something like this, it's obviously it's a volunteer position. I always think I've got a keener.
Yes, you have to be. But it is, the whole festival is volunteer. So everyone that works around the clock, no one's getting paid, but it's for passion and
I like keeners.
You like the keeners. Get in there. Get your hands dirty.
You're on my side. So, tell me about your passion for the indie scene. What made you take this position, and what drives you?
For me, I think what the indie scene is to me is it's art in its most real form. Because obviously with the indie scene, you're taking out the ability of having a lot of funds available, and there's something kind of wonderful and creative, I think, that happens when people don't have a lot of money at their disposal. They get more creative, and they even more importantly, they depend on each other and the community more, and they really have to get their voice out there. And I find that that's kind of something wonderful happens when you get a bunch of people together and they don't have a lot of money, but they have a desire, a passion, a goal, a vision, and just this kind of attitude of, well, we're going to get it made no matter what. And I love that. There's something really kind of addictive about being in that kind of environment.
We just interviewed a fella who does art battle.
We were just talking about art. That sounds so much fun.
And I mean, it's the same thing that they're saying there. Under pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, some people can't do it.
Right.
But most people, if they take the energy to do it, they come away with something that they didn't have before.
It's true, yeah. And it's like with Crazy Eights, it's coming, like at the moment we've got the gala happening next week. Like there's something kind of fantastic about this idea of just getting people together and working under this deadline, this pressure of time.
Right.
And sometimes it's amazing the quality that comes out of that as well.
Well, and I think if people aren't making a ton of money, they have to find other reasons to do it.
That's it.
And so it's usually all about the message, which I believe in. If I had my way, I'd be a serial documentarist or something. I would just be one after the other because there's so many messages that need to be told.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Documentary is such a great form to be able to do that and to show aspects of the human condition in society that you don't really get to see a lot of. I've had documentaries that have just changed my life. Even with my own my thesis that I'm writing, it was a documentary that really shifted that focus for me. And,
right.
Just because you suddenly see a different side, you go, how can I ignore that now?
Yeah, and I really, I was hoping to do Misha today too, because he managed to mix that and some storytelling and what have you. It was a really it really affected me that way. I thought, wow, how did he do that? It really worked.
It did. That film was so stunning, and it brings a lot of emotion, but it never takes you too far where you just feel hopeless. You're just it sort of has this really great kind of almost humor to it that kind of keeps it real and relatable.
Yeah, just sort of like this rolling emotions, right?
Yeah.
You kind of go, oh my God, that's so terrible, but oh, it's so wonderful.
Exactly.
Oh, but it's also terrible again, and it's so wonderful. So I think I left feeling good, yet the important issues were made.
That's it.
No,
absolutely.
So anyway, shame on him for not being here today.
He'll come, he said, in 2 months. He's in Africa.
He's busy.
Hopefully working on his next short film. So he said he's still willing to come, it's just the timing.
It's, you know, it's tough, isn't
hard,
it?
yeah.
Even today I was late, bad me. And, you know, we've all got lives and it's tough to juggle all of this. And it's snowing.
It's snowing, which means Vancouver's going to shut down.
Yeah, well, you know, that tends to happen.
It does. I'm also currently working with Nimisha Mukherjee, who is a director, and she makes documentary films. And so we're working on a really exciting project about Tempest Storm, the burlesque queen from America. And she's got some, she is like JFK mistress, had a fling with Elvis. So we did
colorful.
Very colorful. She's had, her life is being equal parts tragedy and then just incredible opportunity. And she's this amazing sort of woman just to trace the journey of, sort of like small town Georgia, to like Vegas stage, and she's kind of an inspiration. So I've been part of that, and working with a Kickstarter campaign, and that was the first time I've ever been involved in a Kickstarter campaign. That was stressful but wonderful to kind of see the way that the community and people respond and want to help get a project funded.
How did that work as a process?
So with Kickstarter, what you do is you create your goal. So you say how much money you need to achieve, and you have to achieve that goal or you get none of it. So you get to that point where it's like, it was like 2 days before our goal, we were like 1,000 or so underneath it, and I was like, oh please, and what happens is your incentive, so you put your money forward and you get something back from it. So with all of our different, depending on the price that you put in, and you get different things, like it went all up to like sort of a night out with a Tempest, and going out to dinner and things like that. So there are all these different sort of
fundraising of sorts.
Yeah, so it was all really just kind of like you give something, we give something kind of idea, and we were thankfully we hit the goal and it all went forward. But it's nerve-wracking, but it's a wonderful.
What was it for?
It's what, for the film?
No, the fundraising.
For the film, to make the film.
Oh, okay. Which film?
Tempest. So it's burlesque. It's the burlesque queen, Tempest Storm. I need to make sure I have the title accurate on that one. But she's it's a documentary just sort of looking at like Tempest Storm's life, and she's just she is incredible. Like I've been just from the footage that I've seen so far, it's like it promises to be something really, really interesting.
So as a way to raise money, would you recommend that for
Absolutely.
It's the future.
Kickstarter is the future, and you're getting people like Zach Braff, who's just funded his new film that was recently at it was one of the festivals recently, and I forget the name of his film. It's like Wish I Was There or Wish I Was Here, something like that. But he got funding for it. We're talking about a Hollywood actor who was able to use that. And the same as the Veronica Mars. I never watched the TV show, but they're making a movie, I believe, and that was funded through Kickstarter. It is the way, and it's recently opened itself up to Canada. And that's what's given the opportunity for Canadian filmmakers. And I just, 100% recommend Kickstarter because it's a great way to promote yourself.
So, what's in the future for starters for the Short Film Festival? Give us some juicy tidbits, and then for you, where would you like this to springboard you? What's your goals?
Okay, so for the festival, things are starting now. We've got our submissions opening on February 28th. So they're open from February 28th until August 31st. So we've extended it a little bit from last year, just because we wanted to give, especially students, we find, need a little bit more time with some of the films to get them in, and we obviously want to just cater to as many people as possible. So if you've got a film, you can submit it, or if you're working on a film, you've got time to submit it. We don't really have like a time limit per se, but the idea, usually aim for sort of 15 and less is kind of a good way to go, because when we do our screenings, they're usually sort of 1 hour screenings, and we can't just, it's hard if you have sort of like 1.5 hour film. It's better if you kind of can fit a few more into a screening. So
and all this information is available online?
This is all available online.
What's the website?
It's at bsff.com. So everything will be on there.
Okay, and People should, though, don't dilly-dally.
Never dilly-dally.
Yeah.
No, yeah, getting them in is, I mean, obviously not, if you've got that right away, great, but definitely get it in by the August 31st. Don't miss, it's the perfect opportunity to be around, because it's not only students, it's professional filmmakers, so it's a really great chance if you are a new up-and-coming filmmaker to be in the same room, and in the same environment as professional filmmakers. So,
what about you? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Where am I going?
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm in my last year of my master's right now, so at the moment it's a mix of, you know, getting my thesis written and work and, you know, helping with the festival, and also working with Nimisha on her film. And for me, I just want to be, it's like that situation where I just want to wear every hat that I can in this industry. So I really now I sort of gravitate towards screenwriting and producing as sort of aspects that really interest me.
Right.
I just love story. I love the idea of creating story and just reading other people's stories and watching the way that stories, you know, develop on the screen. But you know, I just want to try everything. I like to do editing as well. It's something that I'd really be interested in getting sort of more experience with and more skill involved with that, because there's something really exciting about editing that you can learn a lot just by putting together, you know, what's available. And yeah, but I just want to do it.
Okay. Last question is yours.
My last question is kind of, you're working on your thesis, you said. What's the theme, what's the topic of your thesis, and why you chose it?
So for me, I'm drawn to war cinema as the genre that I've always sort of really found myself just drawn to, because of I just find you can really look at war cinema and sort of it's quite an interesting discussion on society at the time. Like I always tell my students, it's yes, look when a film is set, but really look when a film is made, because that will tell you a lot about the social anxiety. So for me, I was always drawn to the war cinema and thought, okay, I'm going to write my thesis on war cinema, and then I really wanted to look at representations of women, because you know, I feel like there's just so much more that could be said. And as I sort of like got to sort of the research through it, I realized that I needed to really narrow my topic down, and I watched the film The Invisible War, which is a documentary, and it's about sexual assault and sexual violence within the American military. And I realized that there's something there that needs to be said more. So what I've chosen to do is look at representations of sexual violence in American war cinema. So I'm looking at specifically films around Vietnam, and then also films about women and men in the military, in the American military, and just the different levels of assault that happens and just doesn't get discussed. Which is, you know,
so you're bringing it to the open.
It's just, for me, I just want to be able to give a voice to so many who just don't have that voice, or even it's that perhaps there's the fear, or there's obviously the trauma, and there's just so much that doesn't get said that needs to be said. And it's sort of one of those situations, the more I'm reading it, the more angry I'm getting, because I'm thinking, why aren't we saying something? Why aren't we doing something? And it's because most people don't really know the extent of how much this is going on.
A lot of people don't know. They don't think about it.
Yeah.
You know, something I would when I think war cinema, that's not what comes to my mind.
Well, that's it.
It probably should.
It's usually the heroification of the soldier, the winning of the war,
exactly.
Perhaps the post-traumatic stress disorder. We might look at these sorts of things, but you don't really look at, well, what about the people in the town where the war took place? What happened to these people? And what about the soldiers within the military themselves? What's happening in that actual unit? Because there's a lot there, and there's a lot that can be said, and I just think it's a really important, for me it just felt really important.
That sounds excellent. Great, yeah. Hey, we're out of time, and nice to see you again, and hopefully we'll see you this year.
Definitely.
The plan is to be at the festival again.
Yeah.
All our smiling faces will be there.
I can't wait.
And I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be great.
Very nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.